Okay, we're back at it. I got all the transformers over here, got the table kind of cleaned up, ready to pile them all up on there. Now, this barrel I think is all copper, and that barrel is kind of a mix, and then that's all the ones that I just recovered from that stuff yesterday. I did wind up going to the steel yard yesterday morning, and steel's actually up from 8 cents a pound to 9.75 cents a pound, so that's a good thing. Copper's about the same. I had to take those lights and bring them down to Miami because I had to go pick up some more wire and some other stuff. I didn't have time to crack the transformers. I just had to, you know, I wanted to empty that trailer out because I needed to use it to go get some of this stuff here. I actually have another bin of wire in that bin right there. These are those big LED. These are 1500 watt LED lights. They're super bright, but there's an issue with these. The manufacturer just told the guy to scrap them. Half the ones, they are actually sending them back to the manufacturer. They got a 20-year warranty on these. At least they're warranting them. I did get some batteries and whatnot. I got a dumpster included in my rent. So I went over there and I walk up and I found all this stuff here. So I actually went dumpster diving because there was like brand new stuff. I literally just bought for the shop. That's my internet I got in the shop. I paid like 25 bucks for this little 50-foot cord. And then I just found all of this. So hopefully this stuff didn't get wet, and I'm gonna see, like, do you guys know what the difference is between the green, the blue, and the orange stuff? Like, I don't know, but there was a bunch of neat stuff in there, and it looked like there might have been some gold fingers. So I took this to, you know, scrap it out, and then I found this. I'm hoping this monitor works for my security system, and I'm always in need of these. So we got tons of power strips. And then this thing over here, oh, there was something in here. Oh, I got myself a good calculator. Yeah, this is a shredder. So I don't know if it's any good, but it's heavy. It's got a huge cast base, and I want to try to power it up and see if it works. But hopefully what I can do with this stuff, my goal with this when I seen it, all this wire, is to make some hard lines longer so I can bring them around the shop and I can do some live streams actually working in the shop, you know, and not be constricted to, I think last time I did that live stream I could only get to like right over there, but I'd like to be able to get anywhere in the shop and hardwire the computer right in. Oh, and I found a stand. So I think as long as this monitor works, it looks like, hold on a second. Oh. Well, it's got a different plate, but I can figure something out. I'm hoping I can get that to get on that stand. That'd be pretty cool. I'm hoping this weekend I can do a huge scrap marathon and clean out the whole shop because it's just getting overrun. And we need to clear out some space. I'm gonna clear out this whole area here, get all this shit out of here. And we're going to do something else with this shelf that is going to be pretty cool. I'm actually going to lower this down and probably encase this with some of that plexiglass, because there's 3 pieces of equipment I want to put on here that's going to be freaking awesome. So stay tuned for that. So I'm going to get right on these transformers. I want to get them up on the table, crack them, and get right on this wire. It's actually like 1 o'clock in the morning. I went and did all this stuff and picked this stuff up today. Ran all the way down to like South Kendall, which if you're not familiar with Florida is like 2 hours south of here almost. And then I came back up here. I was soaked because I got rain. I went home to take a shower and eat, and I passed out. And I was supposed to get all this stuff processed so I can get out of here in the morning. We're here now, but today's motivation is going to be brought to you by Moody Blues. It's a blues playlist, actually 3.5 hours of some really good songs we're going to be cranking out. Unfortunately, you guys can't listen to that with me, but we'll put on some YouTube stuff for you, and you know, we're going to get right on it. Okay, so that took about 30 minutes to get all these up on the table and get all the capacitors cut off and the number 2 insulated cut off of there. That's just a process that has to be done. It is kind of like handling it twice, but normally, like, especially now where I don't get as many of these as I used to get, I'll pile them up on this table for a couple days before I actually run it, or you know, a day or two. This here I just drug over. I figured why stack it here just to run it. I could just pick them up out of here and run them, and that's actually the first time I'm doing that. So, but these are those small coil copper ones and big coil aluminum. Not going to be a lot of recovery, but it is worth cracking them. For those of you that are kind of new to the channel and never seen me run this setup, or just coming across this video in general, this is a custom built transformer cracking press. It originally started out as a 20-ton Harbor Freight press that had a pneumatic air over hydraulic 20-ton jack in here. I am currently running a Enerpack 25-ton 10,000 psi cylinder with a 10,000 psi 2-speed 110 hydraulic electric over hydraulic pump. And the second press, which you'll see here in a minute, this is going to punch out the cores. This first press is going to crack the case off the side. This will punch out the core. This is a I believe this is a 2-ton, and this was a Harbor Freight pusher puller, like a frame straightening kit, body straightening kit or whatever. It came with like 7 different rams, and this is just an eBay special 2-speed 10,000 psi pump with a foot pedal. It makes for a really good you know, production. If nothing goes wrong, maximum I could get 5 a minute out of this press. Average, I'm going to easily get 3 a minute, which you'll see here in a minute. This press, I can easily get 5 to 7 a minute cranking through this machine here. So we're just going to get right on it. This is a custom-made jig just out of angle iron, some all thread. This thing's been rode hard and put up wet. You can see by all the welds, this thing has cracked, broke. Even this here, this has all been reinforced. I got gussets in the corners here because this was bending. I put a C-channel up top. This is 1/2-inch plate I welded on there, 1/2-inch plate here. This thing is actually welded. This used to be adjustable. It's actually welded in place. The legs were cut off. It's actually welded to the table. So it's kind of here, you know, it ain't going nowhere. It does its job. It does need a complete rebuild. I've been kind of putting that off because I'm building a 100-ton press where it'll basically, I'll build a whole new jig for that, and then this whole 20-ton setup will go away. There are 3 different size transformers here. The machine, I don't have to adjust anything to run the 2 bigger sizes. I do have to squeeze this in to run the smaller sizes, but that's it. We're gonna get right on cracking these ones here and see if we can crank out 3 to 5 a minute. Now, when I run this machine, I do wear a respirator, gloves, safety glasses, and I prefer muffs over just the little tiny earplugs that you put inside, only due to the fact that this is loud. This is like a gun going off right next to you. That's what it sounds like. this is an ongoing issue, and I have to replace the ledge here that this sits on. It's just all worn out, and someone suggested in the comments that I weld it up, which is a really good idea, and I'm probably going to try that, because even if what I used to do in the past is grind it off and put a new piece of flat bar there, or square stock. The problem is the bottom of this thing is kind of bent, so that piece there is already formed to it. Welding it up is actually a better idea, I think. I think I might have to adjust this back plate. That thing always loosens up no matter what. Yeah, that plate's freaking moving like crazy. Run a couple more, see how it goes. Now, these bigger ones, usually it's not too much of a problem. When you get into the smaller ones, it's got a smaller lip that these sit on. You see the difference on that weld? Okay. And how I determine how big of a piece of stock to put there, I got the biggest piece that the small ones would fit on. And then the big ones are just, you know, they're over. It would actually be better if that plate was adjustable. Like, I'll have to explain it in another video, but if I can make that thing bigger and smaller, this whole operation will be better. So used to grabbing over here. Pretty sure that's looks like double aluminum. Yeah, I'm not gonna break that one. Before I used to just crack them off, but now I'm getting so many double aluminums, I'm putting them to the side because I actually get more money not processing them. All right, so you step it up. Oh, that feels suspicious. Yep. always good to have a file on deck. Oh, that one's copper. Okay, I'll put this on time-lapse, and that way I can have my music back. Okay, I want to show you this operation here in real time. Now this operation goes really quick, it's pretty simple. And then these things here, they're just a piece of angle iron that I cut to fit down in this box. This whole thing was actually angle iron that I cut up. Pretty much all made out of the same stuff. So these ones here, you could actually probably just crack them. Whoops. That was a different style. This style here, the ones that I got out of those light fixtures. Now, I seen a video of a guy the other day, and he was breaking these and hitting them off like this. Okay. Here's the issue what I have with that. I mean, whatever works for you, but when you're knocking them off like that, you're wedging it in there and wedging it and wedging it and wedging it. So it's not going to want to come straight off. The best bet is to prop it up on something, and you want to get these two things sitting on something like that. That way it goes down straight. I'm just going to knock a couple of these out by hand real quick. Now, I like this wedge because if you were doing this by hand, once you knock that first one, that wedge will get down in there and almost penetrate that big coil. of the time, if you can hit it hard enough on that first blow, they'll go through, or at least get you far enough. And see this here? This one has a piece of steel still stuck in there. A lot of times, with the hydraulics, it really don't matter, but when you're beating it out, if there's one piece of steel in there, it's going to do the same thing. It's going to want to wedge that coil in there, and it's just going to make it more difficult for you to get it out. See that? That piece there. That's where the wedge comes in. With the wedge hammer, you don't need to be holding anything else. You just let the hammer do the work. That's a tough one. Now, that coil dropped in there. I have this thing here so that I can recover them coils without bending over too much. Alright, we're going to get back to the hydraulics. Now on this machine here, I don't need to wear earplugs because it's not loud at all. Had a couple double aluminum slip through. It happens, but I keep an eye out for it. Oh. Back in the day, it really wasn't a big deal because I didn't come across too many double aluminum ones. And when I did, I just kind of broke them down and sent them. Also, I see a lot of people really going the extra mile to get rid of all this paper. I just send them. I don't worry about it. I've never once had them complain about paper. And the place I sell to sells directly to a mill. So, well, that's a tough one. That machine kicked into second gear. See how slow it's going? Yeah, and it popped up in the first gear. It goes by PSI. Certain PSI is going to downshift basically. And then once it frees up, it'll automatically kick back up in the gear, which is nice. But as I was saying about the mill, if there was an issue with this paper, as much of the stuff as I've brought in over the past 12 years, they would have said something to me about it. And I've never had them say, hey, there's too much paper. And in the beginning, the first time I ever sold transformers, I was doing shit like this. I thought you had to break this up, you know? I did this with like a whole bunch of them, right? And I was actually thinking of a way to make like a shredder or something to get the paper off, but you don't need to. And if they're telling you that you do, I think they're bullcrapping you. But, you know, all places are different. One time, tough one, man. One time I had, I took some of this stuff over to TMR, which is where I sell my steel. And at the time, cast aluminum was going for like 45 cents a pound or something. And the guy told me because this is the windings are electric motor windings, he was only going to pay me 25 cents a pound. I laughed at him. And I was going to sell him about 400 pounds of it. And I stuck it right back in my truck and went down south. Now look at this. See, that kind of got delaminated? I'll stick that in here like that. Just give it a little pressure. Straightens it right out. Then you can run it. That was a double copper too. Double aluminum snuck in there. Down, that gets a lot more messy. All right, so yeah, that ain't much number 2 at all. We're gonna have a lot more aluminum, unfortunately. That is what it is. So now we're gonna move on to the small ones. And like I said, the only thing I got to do is squeeze this in a little bit. We're gonna blow through this real quick. And I'm going to time-lapse all this because I need to get on to stripping some wire. Okay, there you have it. We got about almost a third, pretty good, about a third of number 2 copper and a third of cast aluminum, but that's not as big as a 55-gallon drum. I'm gonna say we got at least 200 pounds in there. Now, I knew going in that most of those were gonna be double aluminum, especially those ones I started off with. I did sneak out 3 double aluminums. Actually, I'm sorry. I knew most of those were gonna be 1 aluminum, 1 copper. That's what I meant to say. You know, we got almost a half a barrel, a little more than a third of steel here. And that last little bit that I ran, those were pretty much double copper, those small transformers. So that added to it. That was pretty good. I started a little after 1:30. It's like 3:30 in the morning now. So that was a good 2.5 hours worth of work, but we blew through it pretty quick. These machines make light work of that. And if you've seen towards the end there, I blew this off with a leaf blower, because this stuff here, if you let it sit, man, you could smell it. Like, I'll be over here running the wire stripper, you could smell that stuff, man. And I got a lot of fans in here blowing around. I like to, you know, blow all that stuff out of here, because I don't want to be breathing. That's why I wear a respirator. We ain't gonna waste no time. I'm gonna get something to drink, possibly something to eat. I'm gonna change my shirt because I feel kind of itchy from all this stuff. We're gonna get right on stripping this wire. Got here. It doesn't like to peel right. See that size right there? You can see I actually welded this up. The front pulley will cut it. The back pulley does nothing to it. Sometimes it's almost better to run it through the next one over and have the back side squeeze it. Which we'll be doing with this intermediate size wire here. that's not even moving a thing in the back. That thing there, which is supposed to keep it in there, has folded over and is diverting the stuff to the side. Man, this Chinese piece of crap. Dang. I don't know how that even happened. Oh, snap. Now the damn thing just broke off. There's your problem. Cheap Chinese welds. All right. Oh, got a straggler. Yeah, most of this stuff gonna come right out. Yeah, definitely time for some upgrades, man. This thing's definitely showing its age, and you know, the amount of wire I run through this thing and the abuse that I just need to take it back apart and fix all the little things and do a couple more upgrades, make it more efficient. I get a lot of wire that's that size, and it's always a pain in the ass because that back roller don't cut it. And that thing, I don't even know how long that thing was bent over. That must have happened that last run I did, because I don't remember seeing that like that. And that there's a whole piece that's bolted in there. I have a better idea, kind of eliminate that and do something different. So I got to pick up the pace here, so I'm just going to go ahead and time lapse all this real quick and get this all stripped out so I can get on the road. See this, I've run so much wire through these, it's literally wearing out the metal. And what's happening is, when I'm putting this in there, it's letting that kind of rock back and forth, and it's jumping off to one side. And I've always had an issue with the way this is laid out. I believe these things should be, instead of them sitting on that straight line there should be a straight line dead center in here. So these should actually be up here, okay? And they should kind of be formed more almost like a to a point, you know what I'm saying, so that it won't let the sides walk out like it's doing. And the reason they're wearing out is because they go and they hit and then they curl up, and that actually causes all kinds of other issues on the backside, because sometimes especially on the smaller wire, it could curl that wire up, you know what I'm saying, and it just creates a lot of issues. This is a great machine, but poorly executed the way it was put together. The design and the 4-roller system is by far the best wire stripper you can get. But this particular machine, it just, you know, the quality is starting to show its ugly face. And I'm getting all kinds of weird noise from this gear over here. So definitely gonna have to do something about that soon. But in the meantime, we're just gonna keep on stripping. Now I do have some of this wire left that I didn't get to strip. So this right here will pretty much be my profit on all that wire. Or I probably already got into some profit, but you know, this will be the rest of it right here. Okay, in that last video, I forgot to actually weigh up the number 2 insulate and that stainless steel. So I'm gonna weigh that up real quick, and then I sold off all that stuff, so we're gonna get an accurate number of what we actually got. And I did notice that either this scale is off, or I forgot to bring all the scrap, because we were like 5 pounds off on the extruded and on the sheet metal. So, and it was on the lower end. So this scale might be reading high, or their scale is off at the scrap yard. I don't know. But this scale's always been pretty close, you know, within a pound or two. So, you know, 5 pounds isn't too much out of the realm, but if we start getting out of 5 pounds, the scale's got to go. Okay, we've got 21.26 pounds. That bag really don't weigh nothing, so I'm just gonna say 21 pounds. We got 33 pounds of stainless steel, plus all this. Now, there would be a little bit more prep work on this to get these off. Not much, but since I'm keeping this, it doesn't matter. So we're gonna go 38. We're just gonna say 36 pounds minus, you know, for the tear weight for the bucket and the little bull crap steel. Okay, here are the tickets for those jobs. Now, we were like a couple pounds short. I don't know if I forgot something or the scale is off, but we're gonna look into that. But we're still within like 5 pounds, so it's not really that big of a deal. So we had, now this ticket here, I had to go pick up some wire and some light fixtures down here. Normally I wouldn't have went down to Miami for less than $1,000, but since I had to go down there, and the trailer was full, so I made that stop and you know, got a little extra change. So we had 147 pounds of extruded aluminum, 70 cents a pound. I was right on with that, and it was 102.90. And then the old sheet aluminum, we had 1,142 pounds. I got 52 cents a pound. So even though we were like 5 pounds light, I did get 2 more cents a pound, which put us over what we had originally thought. So we had $593.84 for a total of $696.74. Now, while we were down there, we picked up some wire that I stripped. And here's the ticket for that job. And here's the number 2 that I broke down the next day. We had 221 pounds of number 2 copper, $3 a pound. I figured that's what we'd get for that. And copper actually came down a little bit since the last time I was there. $663 even. And then number 1 wire. This is wire that I bought and I did not strip. 151 pounds, $225 a pound. And I got $339.75. We had a couple auto batteries I picked up while I was down there. 163 pounds, 20 cents a pound for $32.60. Not much going on there with batteries. And then the Bear Bright that I actually did strip. I think I only worked for like 4 hours stripping or so, so we didn't get it all done. Probably got about an hour left. 351 at 321 a pound. That came down like 9 cents since the last time I was there, for $1,126.71 for a total of $2,162.06. Now, the original projections was $958, and I said even before I started that it probably looks like $1,000 load, and it was actually right. So we actually got $593.48, $102.90 for the extrusion, $146.40 for the number 2. Now that was all mixed in when I sold it, so it was hard to kind of tell what that was. The cast aluminum, I didn't sell any of that, but I'm pretty sure the price was still 50 cents a pound, $24.40. Now the transformer steel, I wind up getting 9.75 cents a pound, and I was figuring we were going to be at 8 cents a pound. So we got over 1.25 cents more for the steel and the slip fitter steel. For we got 84.20 and 39.48, and then the number 2 insulated, which I didn't originally weigh. We had 21 pounds, 85 cents a pound, 17.85, and then the stainless steel, 36 pounds. I think last time I got stainless, it was like 40 cents or 42 cents or something like that. We'll just say 40 cents, close ballpark. We didn't even sell that. 14.40. Now, if I would have had to buy them bolts, or the all thread, the stainless steel all thread, and those stainless steel nuts with the lock washers built in, it would have been way more. I mean, we're probably talking 50 something plus dollars in hardware if I had to buy that stuff, which we recovered for $14. So in total, we had $1,023.47, minus the $2.50 that I had out for food and fuel over 2 days or 3 days or whatever it was. And then our profit after that was $773.47. I estimate 22 hours on that, so that came out to $35.15 per hour, which is $3 more an hour than what I thought we were going to get, which isn't a lot. But like I said, we had 14 hours or 12 hours. I'm sorry, there's 2 hours of picking up when I went to Orlando. So 12 hours of travel. So basically more than half of the time was just driving. And like I said, if that was local, within an hour or two, that number would be way higher. But since we traveled so far, that's what we made. It's not a lot of money, but it did, it did add to it. And then this is the wire I picked up. I paid $1,300 for that number 1 wire. I paid a premium for that stuff, even though I didn't strip most of it, and it was a lot of not spaghetti but smaller wire. So the wire I did strip, I got 351 pounds, 321 a pound, $1,126.71. The wire I didn't sell was 151 pounds, 220 a pound, 339.75 for $1466.46. minus the $1,300, so we got into $166.40 worth of profit. Now, I just went out there and weighed the coils that were left, and it was 65 pounds. Plus, there's a ton of copper sitting on the floor that I didn't weigh. So we're just going to say, after I strip it, we're going to be wound up somewhere around 65 pounds, 321 a pound. So there's another $208 basically. So out of that little bit there, I gained $375.11. Now on a smaller wire, the recovery is not the same as the big wire, so I knew that going in, but still, that's a pretty good number. Originally, it took me 4 hours to strip it. I'm going to add another hour for the little 65 pounds I'm going to strip here in a minute. And then 2 hours for picking it up and selling it, even though it was actually involved in with picking up some other stuff and selling some other stuff. So let's just say 7 hours. That comes out to about $53.58 an hour, which isn't bad for small wire. It's not like making big money with that big wire, but still, you're making a decent amount. That's way more than I used to get paid working for a company. Even that is $10 an hour more than my last job, which I haven't had a job in like 12 years. So, these numbers aren't the greatest numbers in, compared to what I've done in the past and can do, but it is, part of it. Not all of what I do is $100 an hour jobs or, a couple $100 an hour, especially when, we're getting into smaller wire, and a lot of the transformers that I was running up here was aluminum, so overall, I'm okay with all that, and we're just going to go out there and process some more scrap and keep adding those numbers. So if you come this far, thanks for watching. Stay tuned. I got a bunch of videos. Hopefully you guys have already started seeing them, and you know, I've been knocking them out. So hopefully we can get this channel cranking up. I'll tell you where we're going, right to the scrap yard. Dancing. You ever seen your copper dancing before? So basically, I think what happened is, because this swivels independently of this. So this is, that way when you turn this, this is supposed to stay over here, right? You can see how it turns. I think because this was swiveling back and forth, it just kind of fatigued that and broke it off. So we need to get that back on there, and I think this will work. That copper line goes down here, comes up here, goes around to this right here, and I think we'll be good to go. Alright, before that camera gets hot and shuts off, let me just show you. This is my favorite hammer, okay? Mainly because it's heavy, it's got the wedge. If you can get down in here and kind of pick at the little parts, and when you're driving these out, you can get down in that coil. Just had like a double hammer, you know, double sledge. It ain't gonna work like that. All right, let's see if we can't knock this big boy out. It's already falling apart. Now I have a ledge right here. I'll keep that ledge so I can bring that little weld there and give that so much drop. Normally, I like to do it right here over the leg of the table so there's no bouncing. Right here is just as fine. Does a good job. doing these by hand, I want to give that somewhere to drop, you know? I don't do this by hand much. Really ain't no need. We got a hydraulic press. But you can still knock them out relatively quick. You gotta have good aim. And the main thing is don't hit your hand. Well, there we go. Evidence, Broward County Sheriff. These fuckers scratched the shit out of my rifle too. Look at that. That shit definitely wasn't like that. So we might be having to file a complaint. Crazy thing is, they got these evidence bags. That's my clothes. Look at this. What's that say? They put my Second Amendment t-shirt in evidence. And a button-down shirt. And a jacket. And my 45. But we got all that shit back. Let's see what's this. .30 rounds, AR-15. Oh, I'm missing a pin. Did they fucking steal my pin? Yo, these guys jacked me the fuck off.